Welcome! Today we're going to get practical and dive right into something anyone using SAP S4Hana for quality management absolutely needs to know: how the system handles those everyday, real-world defects.
Okay, let's just jump right in with the scenario that I'm sure you've all seen. You're on the production line, a small issue pops up. So, do you really need to fill out a massive, complicated quality report? Does every tiny little hiccup really require a mountain of digital paperwork?
So to make this real, let's meet Healy. She's in the middle of an assembly. A component snaps and it just needs to be replaced. It's a simple, straightforward problem. But this one little situation brings up a huge question about efficiency. Is the system actually designed to help her, or is it just going to slow her down?
So does Healy really have to create a full-blown quality notification just to swap out one broken part? Well, the answer, thankfully, is a big, clear no. SAP has a much more elegant and, frankly, efficient solution built for exactly this kind of thing.
Now this slide really shows you the difference. On one side, you have the full quality notification. I mean, it's got the whole shebang. Header data, root causes, activities. It's powerful for sure, but a lot of the time it's just overkill. But on the other side, you see SAP's streamlined alternative, the generic defect. It's focused only on what's absolutely essential.
So here's the bottom line. The generic defect is all about speed. You can literally think of it as a quality notification with no header. It strips away all the administrative stuff and gets right to the point. It focuses on just two things: what's the problem and what's the task to fix it. That's it. Simple.
Okay, this is where the system gets even smarter. SAP understands that context is everything. A defect isn't just a defect. Where it happens really matters. So it gives us 3 distinct categories to classify these issues with real precision.
First up, we've got the production defect. This is for any issue found right there on the factory floor, just like what happened to Healy. And as you can see, it's designed to capture all that production-specific info, because for things like traceability and costing, you absolutely have to know which production order, which operation, and which work center was involved. Now let's move from the production line over to the warehouse. If you find damaged goods just sitting in storage, you'll use a warehouse defect. This one is tailored to capture warehouse information, which is critical. You need to be able to pinpoint and block that exact stock in a specific storage bin so it doesn't accidentally get shipped out to a customer.
And finally, what about everything else? For any issue that doesn't fit neatly into the production or warehouse buckets. Well, that's where the super versatile generic defect comes in. It's not tied to a specific reference object, which makes it the perfect catch-all tool for those other random problems.
Okay, so we know how to categorize a defect, but how does an issue actually get resolved, from start to finish? Let's walk through that process flow. It's a really clean and simple 4-step process. 1, you record the defect. 2, you define a quality task that spells out the fix. 3, the person you assign it to executes that task. And finally, number 4, a quality engineer reviews the work and formally closes the defect. It's a nice, clean, closed loop that ensures full accountability. And what's great is you can see it's a real team effort. An operator, maybe someone like Healy, is the one who spots the problem and logs it. They can then define a task and assign it to the right person. That person, the task processor, does the actual work. And then the quality engineer provides that crucial final check to make sure the fix was successful and meets all the standards.
But here's where things get really interesting. What happens when you realize that that simple, one-off defect is actually a symptom of a much bigger, more systematic problem?
This is the key question for any quality professional, right? So how does SAP let you escalate the issue when you need a bit more firepower than what a simple defect record can give you?
Well, SAP gives you 2 very clear paths for escalation. The first one is to transfer the defect to a full quality notification. You do this when you need to dig a little deeper, maybe do some more analysis, but you don't need a super rigid, formal methodology. The second path, for the really serious stuff, is to launch a formal problem-solving process.
And that second path often involves a rigorous method like AD problem solving. This quote here really hits the nail on the head. For certain industries, we're talking automotive, aerospace, medical devices, using a formal, documented process like this isn't just a good idea, it's often a mandatory requirement for compliance.
So ultimately, it all comes down to answering this one question. Are you dealing with a simple fix, or are you looking at the tip of the iceberg? The key takeaway here is that SAP S4Hana empowers you to handle both. You can start simple for that everyday efficiency, but you always have the tools ready to escalate and launch a full-scale investigation when you need to. And knowing which path to choose, well, that's what makes all the difference in modern quality management.
You know that feeling